Okay, we are live.
Hello,
Hello,
hello.
Belinda. Hello, everyone.
How are you?
Hi. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Good, good. How was your break? You had a week off last week.
Yeah, yes, I went back to Italy. I've seen my
Oh, so
family.
special.
Yeah, it was really fun. And what have you done during this week?
I wasn't on holiday. I was at home. It was just normal. I didn't go
Perfect.
anywhere. I had a staycation. That's what we call it.
Staycation,
A
nice.
staycation.
Just
Hey,
a week
Penny.
without any life, just for
Yeah,
creating
it was
things.
a week off. So I kind of chilled and relaxed and planned the
Oh,
2 months ahead. So yeah.
that's nice.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Hello, everyone.
Hello,
Don't forget to
Karen.
like and share this live if you want to win a pizza box. On Monday we will have a new winner, so don't forget, guys. Hello, everyone who's joining us. Hello, Anne.
Hello,
Hello.
and from my design team, it's always so awesome how everybody makes the effort to support us. Thank you.
Mhm.
And
Yes, we
I
have
see
Agnieszka.
Agnieszka. So, Agnieszka, I'm actually going to be using your technique as one of my tags today. So, I will be
Mm,
posting, I've copied your link to your Facebook page. I tried to find if Agnieszka had a YouTube page and I can't find one. So, Agnieszka, if you've got a YouTube page, let us know
yes.
because I'm sure she does, but I just couldn't find it for the life of me.
Okay.
Because
If she writes the link in the comment, I can pin in on the screen so everyone can check her channel
yes,
out.
because yeah, because I will put her. In fact, I'm gonna put it here because I have got. Where's my keyboard? I've got her Facebook page in the link. I'm going to put it there. And of course, you don't have to ask her to be friends. You can just follow somebody. So I get a lot of
Mhm.
friend requests. And to be honest, I don't check them very often. But you can follow a person. You don't actually have to be friends with them. So, and I
Mhm.
always feel a bit odd asking to be friends with somebody if I don't really know them in real life. Because, Facebook started off as a place to be friends with your real friends, so that you could be in
Yes.
contact with your family across the world. So, yeah, I
Mhm.
always feel a bit odd asking to be friends with someone I don't know. So you can follow them if you want to see. And like I have an open profile. So if you want to see what I'm doing and what I'm posting, by all means, you can follow me. So you can do
Yes,
the same
that's
with
really nice.
Agnieszka.
Mhm.
Um, so yes, so I've put her link for her Facebook
Mhm.
because it's a technique that she did. In fact, I also have the YouTube open here. She did a live with Monica, um, and it was how she did this technique. So it was a Sleeping Beauty. She did the most gorgeous little round box using this what I call double crackle
Oh,
technique. Um, let's just get that in. So this is a Stamperia live that was done a couple of weeks ago. And so if you want to see how she does it from scratch, you can go there and have a look. But what I've decided to do is I'm going to do a series because I'm not going to be live every Thursday. So you don't have to think, is Belinda live this Thursday? Is it next Wednesday? Because I was live on the first Thursdays and the third Wednesdays. It was like hard to keep track of. So
yes.
what I've decided to do is I've actually set up a schedule, which I will post online,
Mhm.
uh, of what I'm going to be doing for the next 2 months. And apart from my two first Thursdays, which is always still going to be my design team post, where I have somebody from my design team joining me and they will do a project, I'm going to be doing a
Mhm.
series of back to basics. And I thought I would start with it today. And hi, Rosario. Lots of people still coming in.
Yes.
Um, so I just
But
thought
I
so.
think it's great that you have created this schedule so everyone can follow the basics and learn something from the real beginning. So it's great.
I think a lot of people are intimidated by these amazing projects. It's not something bad about the fact that the teachers and these guests do these incredible projects, but I do think that a lot of people look at them and go, I can't do that. It's like, that's
Oh,
incredible, and it's like beyond me, and no, like, wow, but I can't do it. And if you break it down into bite-sized pieces, I'm from South Africa, for those of you who might not know, and we have a saying there, and I think it's actually a worldwide saying: how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So it's the same thing. How do you
but
learn
that's true.
how to
That's
make these
totally true.
amazing techniques and these amazing projects? You don't start
Mm,
like at the wow factor. You have to learn the basics. You have to learn the
yes,
foundations, and that is so important.
yes.
One can build on the basics. Once you have all the basics, then you can look at a piece of paper, a mold, a stencil, a stamp, and you can go, oh, I remember that so-and-so did this technique, and I think it would look amazing if I put this stamp on top of that technique. But one often forgets how. When you're watching these lives, it all makes sense at the time, and what the person is doing is like amazing, and you enjoy the live and so on. But I actually do know Karen Opit, for one, who's in today's chat. I saw her hello come past. She will often make notes in a notebook um, about what somebody has said. And I know this because she's asked me a couple of questions and sort of like messaged me and said, I can't remember, did she do this first or that first? I'm trying to do it, but it's not really working for me. And so I've decided that what I'm going to do is a set of tags. And it started all because I have created for myself reference tags of all my Stamperia products. And this is something that I have shown in
That's
my
great.
lives before. Whenever I get new colors, I test. So basically it's just a white tag. And you can use any paper. I just happen to have got hold of some really, really cheap, thick white water paper cardstock from, it's a shop here in Europe called Action. And so I've die cut them, but you don't have to die cut. You could use a notebook. You could use just the paper itself in squares. It's entirely up to you. And then I have glued a piece of black cardstock over here so that I can see what the paint looks like on the different colors and how it
Oh, it's so
reacts.
useful in this way.
So I can then see, and then, so this is my set of blues and grays, and then these are my favorite colors. So these are the colors that I use all the
Oh,
time, so that I can see. And these are the Allegro colors. And Allegro is the most amazing paint because you can see by its coverage here, it is amazing coverage on a very, very dark surface. So that's what I was testing. And then, yes, I've got swatches for pretty much everything. This
ooh.
is my Anticante. These are my Chiranticas.
Pirantica? Yes.
Glamour paste. I've
Oh,
got
nice.
the cream paste.
I agree with Roberta who's saying beautiful and clever idea, Belinda. It's really useful, these kind of tags.
Yes, and also if you buy a new color, don't forget to add it to your swatches. Or if you've run out of space, just make an extra one, because something like Allegro, there are a lot of colors. And
Yes.
these are all my glamour pigments that I just mixed with some of the, I can't remember what, probably mixed media glue. These are the only two glamour gels that I own. These are the Arctic range. This is the gesso and the primer, so that I can see at a glance what they do. Here are all my different pastes, so I can see if they're shiny, if they're matte, if they have texture, if they dry thick with body or they dry flat. Here are all my glues, the various different glues. So you can see that I have done a test run for everything. And then it's almost like you don't have to think. You don't have to even remember. Once you've done this, you can just refer to this. So this is something that you can do in your own time. You don't have to watch a video on how to do this. You literally just get out all your products. You can make yourself your little swatch book. In my case, it's a set of tags. And these rings I actually get from Stamperia. And yes, you can keep adding to it. And if it gets too full, well, then you can start another one and you can divide them into, I don't know, paints. So if you have the Vivace and the Allegros, you can have like one swatch book just for paints, and you can have another swatch book just for the mediums. So that is a really great tool that I have created for myself. And then I was thinking, how can I build on this? So starting a new swatch book, starting today, we're going to do different techniques. Okay, so if you can put me off screen so that I can change my camera on, then I can show everybody how to do that.
Video. Yep, okay, just a second. Perfect, we have a video. Here it is.
See you just now.
Sí, sí. El otro día.
Oh, quanti corazon. Colorati più belli.
Que nos vemos ahora en pantalla.
Bueno, es una maravilla porque es una cosa muy pequeña.
Heavy body glossy gel, but you can also use the heavy body.
Hi Samantha, yes, I will send
So
you.
as you can see, I have here one primer and
The actual stencil. Now I've seen
like a base.
Wow, beautiful.
I hope you loved our little time together. Don't forget to like and share, and you could win a
Pizza. Baby, amo de pizza. No,
Beautiful.
Okay, here we are. I will leave you the biggest screen. So
Okay,
everyone can
let's
see
see if I
clearly.
can get it to focus. And yep, focus. Give it
Yes,
something
it's
else to
focused.
focus on. There we go. Okay, so this is the schedule that I will put out on my own Facebook page, and I have a group, Belinda's Creative Inspiration for Everyone. I will put it on there as well, so you will be able to see what is coming up. Next week, I will be live with Shamila, my design team member. And this is the technique that I have done using Aga's technique that I will show you how to do just now. And then I have prepared 3 different tags for today. And
Oh, nice.
so what I have done in preparation is I have worked out how many steps there are in each technique that I'm wanting to record. And so I'm going to start with Monica's rice paper technique, where Monica Bruta, who used to be on every Tuesday, she would often use rice paper. And I think I'm going to have to put something dark underneath here, just so that you can actually see, because I see my desk being so white, I think we're struggling to see. Okay, that's better. So what I have done is I have grabbed a leftover piece of rice paper, because of course when you are doing sample swatches, you don't want to be breaking into a brand new piece. And quite often we have leftover pieces from a project that we've done. So this was an A3 sheet from Christina Radovan's Arctic Antarctic page. And you can see I've done a great big tag out of there. And what I have done is I've done 5 centimeter blocks. You don't have to be as specific, okay? I have then written on the side what products I'm going to be using, and a little note here about when you want to tear rice paper in a specific way. So say you want to go specifically around the tail of this whale, or you want to cut that whale out, you can just use a fine brush, and you can wet it. And wherever you wet the paper, you can see it going darker. That will allow the fibers to pull apart easily. So you can just then pull, and the paper will tear along that wet line. So that is the little note that I made for myself over there. And then I'm going to want, let's just see, let's have as much of that guy as possible. And then I need, maybe we'll just chop it off over there. So I want to have it all the way to the top.
Yeah, maybe just the tail.
Sorry?
I know that you have to chop the tail of that poor whale.
I know. We'll have to just, I mean, he's already lost his head. Well, he didn't lose his head. His head went onto something else. So we'll have to just, we'll get that whale tail on, and we will, I don't want to lose too much of my notes. So we'll just cut it about there. And again, we can just use the water, so I can go around the tail maybe and see if that will go into the picture. So that's what I mean by being able to then tear easily, because if you try to tear, this paper has a lot of very thick fibers in it, and if you don't help it with the water, quite often it won't tear where you want it to, simply because okay, let's go this way and see what happens. Okay, so I have enough there. That's covering up my note there, but I can just write a bit further over, so that's fine. And maybe I will just make a more interesting line on this side. Instead of having such a straight line, I'll make it a bit more of a curved line. So there we go. And now to glue this down, I'm going to use mixed media glue.
Okay, the code is DC28M, if I remember.
Correct, DC28M. And just a clean brush, can be any size brush, normally a soft bristled brush. And now I'm going to take my black paper out of the way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a decent coat of the mixed media glue all over my tag, like so. And it dries quite quickly, so you can then place your rice paper where you want it. And my note under there was Allegro. Then you seal it by putting your mixed media glue over the top again. So it's always like a sandwich. If you think of a sandwich, in this case, your mixed media glue is the bread and your rice paper is the jam or the filling. You know, you could have a cheese sandwich, you could have whatever filling you like. In this case, it is the rice paper. And the technique
for using the glue.
The brush I'm using is a soft bristle brush.
Okay.
You could use a stiff bristle brush, but I find a soft bristle brush is the best. And mixed media glue is water-based, so you can just wash it in water. And I'm going to blow dry at this stage.
Okay, perfect. I will read some comments in the meanwhile. Hello, Sky Blue. Sky Blue is saying, I really need to collect more rice papers. They're so versatile. Yes, you're right. Then we have Danka. She's saying, I'm still waiting for that glue. Oh, Danka, check for the glue out on your favorite store. I think that they will for sure order the product for you. Not not Belle, who's saying un grand bonjour de France. Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello. And then
Hello.
I'm just going to take some sandpaper and take
We
that
have
off.
Sylvia
That's
who's saying, I have to try work with rice paper. It looked not very difficult.
It's
Yes,
not
Sylvia,
difficult at
try.
all. It's not difficult at all. And where, oh, excuse me.
Oh, don't worry.
Where it sticks out like that over the edge of the project, you can just use just normal sandpaper, a nail file, or in this case, I've got a sanding block. And you just sandpaper the edge and it comes off easily rather than trying to cut it with scissors. Is that
Oh, we
my
have Sara Alcobendas. Hi, Sara.
Hi, Sarah. Gorgeous, gorgeous art journal pages yesterday that she made with John.
Mm.
Okay,
Yes.
so now we have it at this stage. We're going to add some texture paste, which is K3P40. And I'm going to use a spatula for that, if I can find it. Yes, there it is. So Monica uses the sand paste to hide the edges. Okay, so my next note over here is sand texture paste, and I've put the code there as well. And so what you can do is you can intentionally add texture paste in different places to give another dimension and to help to hide that edge. Am I the only one having the squeaking going on? Is it feedback from my computer? Or can you also hear the
Yes,
squeak?
I read that someone was, no, Blanche was writing that she was hearing a whistle, but I
Yes.
don't hear anything.
Okay, it's, I think, coming from my computer. I'm just going to try and see if I do something, if it will stop.
Karen she says, I have a tiny squeak.
Yes.
Because I
Okay.
don't hear anything. So maybe
Okay, I
Valeria
can
will.
definitely hear it. It is distracting. Okay, it doesn't seem to be anything I can do about it on my side, unfortunately. Let me just, okay.
I don't know if maybe it's my computer because I don't hear anything, but let me see if I mute myself if we still hear something.
Okay, I'll just have to carry on. So I wanted to put a little bit more sand texture paste at the, and I'm opening the wrong one. There, it's gone. Whatever it was is gone. Yay! Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit more sand texture paste at the top here. Being careful not to go over the hole because I still want to be able to put this into my ring binder. Okay. And I'm going to just add a little bit down here and close that up again. What is the tag support? It is just, I've used 300 GSM watercolor paper that I bought at a local store here. You can use anything that you've got. Normal, I would say a decent weight cardstock. You can use scrapbooking paper. You can use whatever you've got. You can even do it in a book. It doesn't have to be on a tag, but it's my personal preference to work on a tag. And now I'm just blow drying my paste, which should hopefully dry quite quickly.
Okay, now
And the
I
squeak
hear
is back.
some. Yes, the squeaky is back. Now I hear it. Okay, maybe like this.
Okay.
We will see if it will disappear or not.
It seems to be something to do with my computer, unfortunately.
But there's no problem at all. We are here to have fun in the end. It's not a problem. Like Sarah was saying, yeah, yesterday, no pasa nada.
Okay, so this is where your swatch books come in really handy, because if I look at the papers that I've got on here and the colors, I can then look at the colors that I have, and I would say this Indian light turquoise would go quite nicely with the paper there, and also the aviation blue. And then going up here, I would probably say it is some cappuccino. So those are the colors that I'm going to play with now to help integrate my rice paper into the background. So I'm going to just pop some of those colors out. And I think this one is almost finished. There's still more than enough in there. Always goes further than you think. And then I'm going to use some ivory as my blender instead of white. And I always just work from light to dark simply because it is easier than washing your brush. These colors override each other very, very quickly. So as you can see, they even work on top of a very dark color like black. So it's not because of coverage issues, it's just because it's easier to keep my brush clean working from light to dark. So I'm going to start with my ivory. And I'm going to texture it in here and work it in. And once I've got ivory where I feel it is needed, I'm then going to start working in with the other colors. So here I'm going to go with some of the Indian turquoise. And you can see that you can start to hide where your paper begins and ends using the Allegro paint and using the sand texture paste. Of course, if your project doesn't warrant sand texture paste, and now I'm going to go into the slightly darker color over here. If it doesn't warrant the sand texture paste, by all means, just use the Allegro to blend your colors. So there we can see that they are blending nicely, and I'm using a tapping motion to get the color into all the nooks and crannies of the sand paste. So for me, that looks kind of like the ocean and the sea and whatever else is going on in the background there. Is that focused? Yes. And now I'm going to go into the cappuccino and blend it into this one. And that's pretty much that technique done. And now I have a reference tag of Monica's technique. So the only thing I have to do when this is dry is just put back the word Allegro that went under my whale tail, because I decided I liked the whale tail too much to chop it off. And I wanted to make this more interesting. So there we go. Okay, so that one is ready. And then, of course, being rice paper, you can just poke something through and you have your hole. And then the particular tag that I've got has ring supports that I will then glue on both sides to put in my tag so that it won't break over time. So that is Monica's rice paper technique with the texture sand paste to hide the join. So that's that technique. Now we're going to move on to Agnieszka's technique that I mentioned earlier. And this is where you will need quite a few products, but I'm going to list them for you as we go, and I will post it online so that you will have everything available to you to be able to see later on. Sorry, I'm just trying to see if there are any comments. And I'm struggling to hear you. There's Shamila. Yes, Shamila will be live with me this time next week, people. And so here's the saying, I have those colors, but the problem is that they repeat in almost all the kits. Well, that's the thing. That is the nice thing, is that the colors do repeat, and all the Allegro paints match the paints that or the papers and so on. So you don't need to invest in a lot of colors. They work well with all the papers. And now I have an echo. Technical problems today, technical problems. Okay.
Oh, but it's okay. We are live, so it's normal.
Yes, it's mandatory. So this is a tape that it's a very low tack tape. It is designed for paper. Here I can get it at the hardware store and the art store. It is called paper tape. Not because it's paper, but it's designed to stick on paper and then remove it again. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to protect all my instructions on that side. And do that. And I'm going to paint first with my dark color. I really like the dark color shining through, as I've done in this particular tag. This is using Agnieszka's technique, just with completely different colors. Agnieszka usually uses beautiful soft pastel colors. I'm just not a soft pastel girl. So what you want is a good base of the brown.
Karen is saying, the echo gives me 2 chances to write it all down.
Thank you for seeing the bright side. I'm wondering if I should put headphones on if it's my computer causing trouble. There we go. Right. So unfortunately in this technique there's a lot of blow drying required. So you put your paint on, and I've lost all my lines, but it's fine. I can see them through over there. I will make them up as I go along.
Oh, that's fine. Shamila, I'm seeing in the comments that you have organized the contest, as Crafty I am is saying. So, what's the contest about? Because we can help you promote it. If you need to pick a winner, we can help you promoting your contest if you want. Oh, we have Penny, who's
I'm not
saying
sure
that brown.
I'm not sure what the competition is.
Oh, okay. Fanny that says, that brown, oh, it's so yummy. Yes, it seems like dark chocolate.
Yes. Now first we were talking about sandwiches, now we're talking about chocolate.
Yeah, we're always talking about food during this live.
When I used to teach in-person classes in South Africa with my students, especially my Monday class, because they were planning ahead for the week, we'd all be asking each other, what are you cooking for supper? What are you cooking for supper? So that they could go to the shops after class and buy food for the week. And I used to say, it's a good thing you can't get fat on talking about food, because otherwise I'd be the size of a house. So now that I have got that dry, I'm going to use my imaginary line, which is over here, and I'm going to apply country style craquelé to the whole top of the tag. And for this stage, it doesn't actually matter how you apply it, because this stuff dries. It's what I call self-leveling, and it really doesn't need to be applied too thick. So you can just put a very thin coat on. I have tried doing a thick coat and a thin coat, and I have discovered that for this particular technique, it doesn't actually matter. It just needs to be everywhere, and you can see whether it is or isn't everywhere because it is or isn't shiny. Where it's not shiny, there's not enough stuff. And a little bit goes an incredibly long way. I've almost now got too much by adding a little blob more. So you will find that this stuff will self-level. I have tried applying it both with a brush and with a sponge. And for me, I have found that there is no real difference. Again, it is water-based. So, okay, so
we have Duncan who is asking for the code of this double crackly.
Okay, so this country crackler is KE07M. KE07M.
Okay.
I will be putting, so afterwards I will be putting all the tags with close-ups, so you'll be able to see my writing and you'll be able to see all the products that I have used.
Then we have some tips by Agnieszka, who is saying, if you add the thick layer of country crackle and thick layer of second coat of paint, it's giving you more spectacular effects. Thank you, Agnieszka, for these amazing tips. Hello, ladies, by Luisa. Hi, hello, Luisa. Hello. And then I read a funny comment before by Patricia. She's saying better your computer than your husband. I think she was referring to the echoes, to the sounds. These jokes about husbands are always so funny for me. Oh, you're welcome, Danka. Blanche, who's praising Agnieszka effects. Yes, Agnieszka, you're really amazing. Hi, Jenny. Hi from Hillbilly Scrapping, Australia. Hello, hello.
Hello, Jenny.
Agnieszka was saying, I love to play with products. Yes, that's the great thing. It is funny. Look, hi, hello, Sky Blue. Yeah, yes, that joke for me was really, really funny. I don't know. I'm always laughing for stupid things. So for the stupid jokes, it's my thing.
Okay, I'm just going to cool that down a little bit.
Perfect. Hello, Annette from Australia. Hi.
Okay, so now the next thing is to apply your color on top. And this is where I have found that it is easier to apply, and I'm not going to use, that was the Indian color. I like to use the normal turquoise, and this is where I like to apply it with a sponge. And I use these little sponge dabbers by Stamperia that come in packets like this, and the code for that is KRK03. They do come in packets of different sizes, so you can get different packets of them. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply. Nope, 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 I don't want it there. The whole idea is to go the next line up. Wash it off, wash it off, wash it off. Go away. Go away.
It will have some extra colors.
Well, the whole point of this, what I need to do is just keep moving. I need to put a little block there for me. So now the next line we can go from there. So now we're going to apply the next color. And the thicker you apply your color, the bigger the cracks will be. There we go. And we can blow dry.
We have a question from Nuria. She's asking, ¿alguien sabe dónde puedo conseguir la pasta de pentarte en España? If you need this particular paste, you can write me on my email, lucrezia.bigelli at stamperiakft.com, and I will tell you all the names of the resellers in your area. You have just to write me, I live in this or that city. I will look through the sales lists. I will find the resellers, and I will tell you their address where you can purchase our products.
That's a fabulous idea. Okay, so now I'm going to move my tape up one. Can you see those crackles already? Oh, I'm going to turn the volume down. It's definitely my computer. So you can see the crackles already happening, but they're quite fine. And as I said, the more paint you put on, the thicker the paint you put on, the more crackles you're going to get. So now this is where Agnieszka discovered the technique. So now I'm going to cover this one so that I don't accidentally do that again. And we are going to put the crackle, but this is now the crackle paste transparent. Okay, K3P50. And again, I'm going to use, it's just my personal preference, I'm going to use my sponge to apply it, because if you use your brush in different directions, you will find that it will affect the outcome. And again, the more of this you put on, the bigger the cracks are going to be. So you can experiment and see how you like it. So now I'm going to just close that and blow dry.
Okay, I read that Nuria didn't understand my English, so I wrote everything in Spanish. Nuria, ¿puedes enviarme un email escribiéndome dónde vives y te diré las tiendas con productos de Stamperia en tu zona? So this is the address, marketing@stamperiakft.com or lucrezia.bigelli@stamperiakft.com.
And you can
Okay,
see
sky blue is Yes.
Yes, it gives you a more even output if you apply it with a sponge, because if you apply it with a paintbrush, you will get directional brush strokes.
Great.
And you can see the cracks are getting much bigger as it's drying, because the second application of the transparent crackle paste is pulling even more on the paste that is underneath. And it will also start to lift the corners of the crackle. So it'll start to actually give it more and more texture. Also, I'm blow drying it in one place for a long time, so it's starting to bubble. So I'm just going to cool that down. So if you look at this, I applied huge, thick amounts of paste over here, and you can see how I got much, much bigger crackles. And if I hold it at an angle, you can actually see how the paint pulls away and raises. Okay, so this takes a long time to dry, so it's still drying, but you can see the crackle is starting to happen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just move my tape one up again. And what you need to do now is you need to actually protect the crackle. So you need to put a layer of mixed media glue down. So DC28M again. And I'm going to
We
grab
have
my
a question by Shamela.
Does the crackle stay in place and not pop off? Yes, we're going to put the mixed media glue on, and that stops it from popping off.
Perfect.
So now, that's why I say it's quite a step. That's why I thought doing this tag with Agnieszka's technique is quite important, because there are a lot of steps involved. So now we are protecting the crackle by putting on the mixed media glue.
Okay. We have Sky Blue who's saying, yeah, the crackle looks much better with the sponge. Yes, these crackles are amazing. Really, it's a really great technique. Danka who's saying the paints look so beautiful. Thank you, Danka. Yeah, this idea is really great, Belinda. Really, really great idea. Penny who's saying it's the new game called the Stack a
Stack a
Crackle.
crackle. That's a good one, Penny. Okay, so at this stage, you can't really see a difference between where it is just the crackle paste over the various other layers. And these sort of creamy patches that you can see here, those will dry with time. Obviously, we don't have time because it's alive, so that's a luxury we don't have, which is time. I'm going to pop my, but it's dry enough to touch. It's just where it's quite thick that it's not going to dry immediately. And now I'm going to put some of Antoni's cream paste over the top. And I use my neat just because I don't have the smell-free, and I'm just going to use a little bit because it's such a tiny space that I'm working on. I don't have the smell-free turpentine, and you cover the whole area with the paste, and then you rub it off. So just using a baby wipe, you rub off the excess. There we go. So now we have notes and all the steps. So I started at the bottom of my tag with the base of my product so that I could build on top, because that just made sense to me. But if you want to stop at the top and work down, that's entirely up to you. So now you can see my base paint, the country style crackle, the Allegro turquoise that I put on top, the crackle paste, then the vintage paste over the top of mixed media glue. So I did make a note here that you have to put the mixed media glue on. So this is something to just help you, and you could of course do sample swatches to take this technique and play with different colors, because the more colors you use, the more different it is going to look. So here is my example where I chose not to do the extra crackle in those areas, and I put orange and red brick to make it look rusty. And here I'm going to show you a close up. If I can get to it, of course. Oh, I did a really big version of this, and I want to show you how the brush strokes can make a difference. I applied my top crackle paste with a big brush here. Can you see that? Can you see the directional brush stroke?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I went this way, that way, this way, that way. And it does actually affect the outcome. So that's why I started using a sponge. So, but again, that might be the technique that you are looking for. And I have muted myself completely by accident. So if anybody's talking to me, I can't hear you. Okay, so that's just to give you the idea. And then here I've used different colors. Yes, so you can play with the brush and see what technique that will give you as well, and you can play with the sponge, but for a more even coverage, a sponge worked better for me and on a smaller surface. So that is my version of that. And then the last thing we are going to do today in our technique tags is, if I can find it, because now of course my desk is covered in everything like the Bermuda Triangle of my own creation. Pop that on one side. We're going to do what I call Belinda's rust technique, and that is using brick red, orange, and earth. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing again, and I'm going to protect my instructions on this side, and I'm going to just pop my tape down there. And again, I start with the base of the brown. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I was live with Luciana, and she used yellow as her base. So again, this is personal preference, and you just have to see what works for you. So I'm going to do a base of brown over everything. And this is what I use a lot when I am doing my mixed media projects, where I want a rusty look on my molded items and so on. So I just get a base color of brown down.
Yes, Patricia, we don't need to make a tag with the steps because we have this video to look back. So thank you for saving us the time.
That's a good point. But at least if you have it yourself, you don't have to try and remember where you saw this. Because I know a lot of people struggle. They go, in fact, I had an email the other day from somebody saying, I know Olga did 3D flowers on a book cover. Can you tell me where to find it? Because I can't find it. And all the videos are kept on Stamperia's Facebook page and their YouTube page. But yes, it's sometimes hard to find what you're looking for.
Because we have a tons of videos.
Yes, there are
But
endless videos to choose from. Okay, so
we should create a video on e-Academy about how to create these 3D flowers.
sorry, a video on the e-Academy?
No, we should create one with 3D flowers.
Yes.
I will propose. I will do this to Giovanni as usual, as usual after the live.
Okay, so now that I've got that base down, now I'm going to take some of the brick red, and you can see that my brush has sort of opened up. It's not perfect anymore. And I'm going to use that. I'm just going to make my line there so I don't forget. And I'm going to tap my brick red all over as the next stage. And what I like to do, especially when I'm doing 3D objects and so on, this is my own personal thing. I always like to have the light coming from the right-hand side and the shadow on the left-hand side. So I'm going to put more brick red on this side and less on the other side. And I'm maybe going to come back with a little bit because I've now covered too much of the brown. So I'm going to just tap back with a little bit of the earth color on the side until I'm happy with the integration. And there we go. So I'm happy with that. And I'm not going to wash my brush. I'm going to grab the tiniest amount of the orange. Can you see that? It's really just a little bit. And I'm going to make a line over here because this is now where I'm adding my orange. And I'm going to tap in the orange. So the reason I don't wash my brush in between is I want the colors to kind of mix on my brush and on my project. So then now you can see the 3 different stages. I'm going to blow dry because it'll be easier to see.
Okay, here we are. Hello again, everyone. So we have Sky Blue Hippie who's saying good idea. Then, oh, everyone is complaining that no one after these lives is able to find again the videos.
I know
we have tons of video, guys. I know.
It is a problem. So that's why it's a good idea to make these sample tags yourself. Because then you have the reference in front of you. You don't have to go and find the video. So there we go. That is my rust technique. And I just wanted to show you some samples that I have used it on. This one I've taken it even one step further, and I've added, to make my gears pop out, I've added a bit of the turquoise behind them. But that is the technique that I have used on these. Were those cardboard letters that are made using Lady Vagabond's initials. So it's LV for Lady Vagabond, not Louis Vuitton.
It's beautiful, this project, really. It's really beautiful.
So that's exactly the same technique that I used for these. And again,
Shamila is asking, you are working wet into wet paint, Belinda, so no drying in between?
No drying in between, because you want, firstly, you want all the colors on your brush so that they can blend. And secondly, yes, you want your paint wet on your object again so that it can blend. I'm going to grab another project to show you. So this is one that I did using exactly that technique. And you can see here on this buckle, I've got the brown earth, the red brick, and the orange. And I have done that almost on every object.
It's a really beautiful effect, really.
So this technique that I showed you, you can apply to just about anything. A flat surface, molded items, a art journal page, the background for a canvas. It is really, really, really versatile. So today we did 3 tags. We started with Monica's technique, then we did Agnieszka's technique with Belinda's colors, and then we did what I call Belinda's rust technique. So there we go. All done for today.
It was really fun watching you because these tags are really useful, and it was really a great live. I can put a video and you can come back with me so we can say goodbye to our friends. Oh, okay, perfect.
Do you know our Facebook group, Stampers Worldwide? The place where you can post your creations, ask for advices, and make new friends. And above all, an incredible source of inspiration. Subscribe now and join the Stampers Worldwide group. It's for free. We're waiting for you.
And here I am too. Okay, we are. These tags were really beautiful. And they are so useful. They are really great techniques. I saw our friends that were enjoying a lot this live, even if with all the echoes and the whistles. But it's normal when you are doing a live.
I know technology is not our friend. Some things we're not in control of. So yes, I see. No. Annika Oosthuizen is asking, is it just her? No, I'm afraid I'm getting it too. So I'm also struggling because I'm hearing myself twice as I'm talking. And we've got the squeak, which I have no idea where it's coming from. So I have to keep dropping the volume on my computer, which means I can't hear.
From my side, everything is perfect. Okay, we have this delay because sometimes we are talking all over the other, but it's just the normal delay. But still, I don't hear any whistle except. Oh, the tags. Okay, here they are.
So that's what we created today. We've got Monica's, we've got Agnieszka's double crackle, and then my rust technique. So if you do that, if there's some techniques that you particularly like, you can go back and find those techniques and you can create your own tags like this. So you can just follow the steps that the person is doing on the live and create your own reference technique tags. So that was the idea behind today's live. So I'm glad everybody enjoyed it.
Yes, of course you can share your tags with us on our group Stampers Worldwide.
That would be awesome.
Yes, we are always waiting for your project. So Belinda, thank you again. Thank you once again for this incredible live, and see you next week. You will be with Shamala.
Yes.
And see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Thanks for hosting me today. Thanks for joining, everybody. Bye.
Bye.